What's up, Otters? My name's Scott. I'm one of the co-founders here at Otter PR, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to prepare for your first interview. When you're doing PR, obviously the goal is to get interviewed. It's to get on radio, it's to get on podcasts, it's to get on TV. Once you actually get those interviews lined up, how do you prepare? So that's kind of scary, especially if you've never been in front of a camera or you've never been on a podcast, you've never been on radio. Sometimes they're live too, which is even scarier. But there are some easy tricks that we have for you to prepare so that way you make sure that you crush it every time. So the first thing is the equipment. Yes, you can use a basic webcam and a mic and get decent video quality, but that's not really what you want to do, especially if you're on a high level and professional. So at minimum, I always say use a wired microphone. So if you have those old Apple headphones that plug right in, that will give you a simple basic audio that is even radio quality. That is not the professional level, but that'll be at minimum what you need. And then a computer that has a decent webcam. So those are your bare minimums. But what I would recommend is spending a little money. You can go get online and get kind of a Blue Yeti or a podcast mic, even starting at like $50, which can give you significantly better audio. So with that podcast mic, what you want to do is actually get wired headphones that then wire into that mic so you can hear exactly what it sounds like. So you're talking in there, base range $50 to $200 is going to give you much better audio if this is something you're doing all the time. And then with cameras, I always recommend getting kind of an aftermarket webcam, whether that's a Logitech or something higher end. So Logitech start at $50. So really for about $200, $100, you can start getting better quality equipment, especially when video is involved. The next thing that you need for equipment is lighting. If you are going to be on video, you want to make sure that you have some decent lighting. You want dark shadows, and you don't want to look kind of, basically what it'll do is make the video look really old. So if we turn off all the lights in here, it'll make the video look like it was filmed 10 years ago, just because the quality of the colors are not as rich. Last step with equipment, and it's not really equipment, it's setting up your background correctly. So if you notice I have this cool city behind me, you guys don't need a big fancy screen or monitor or green screen, but make sure you at least have a solid white wall or a bookshelf, I think is the easiest way if you're in a home, and that it's not lit highly behind you. So you want the light coming in at you and not behind you. So you don't want a window behind you. If anything, you want a window in front of you, so behind the camera. So a lot of times I have a big window and I'll actually set everything up facing this way so I get a lot of natural lighting, and that really reduces the need for lighting. All right, so once you have your lighting and kind of equipment, it's really important to test it. So practice it. Do a practice with a friend, get on a Zoom call and experience the whole thing. Take a look at how it looks, hit record on that Zoom call, and make sure that it all looks professional. Because again, if you're doing a high level interview, some of these podcasts have thousands and thousands of downloads per episode. You could get on live TV through Zoom, and I mean, you're on TV. There's literally millions of people can see this. You want to represent yourself and your brand at a professional level. I've seen some very low quality videos go out there that just don't look professional. And so you're setting a perspective and a persona of non-professionalism before you even speak. So that quality of the work that you put in is worth the $100, $200 extra to make sure that you're at that level. One other thing on camera equipment that I didn't mention is you can always, if you want to go kind of more on the pro set level, is get a cheap DSLR and set that up as your webcam. Those are going to be your best quality. But then next step is how to practice. So like I said, it's really good to have a friend interview you over Zoom and really practice that process, kind of get used to it, have them have some pre-questions for you. But really most interviews are going to be more conversational. So you want to just have a conversation with your friend about the topic and get used to talking about your topic. You guys are already experts in your industry, so you should be pretty comfortable talking about it. But again, there's some uncomfortableness to being in front of a camera and that whole setup, especially getting used to it. I know that I don't personally like big headphones that go over my ears because I feel like it dampens myself from hearing kind of my own voice, which surprisingly gets me stuck. So you got to figure things like that out before you're on a live interview. I actually like using the Apple headphones wireless, and that kind of helps me. It just feels more natural because I'm used to like talking on the phone that way. So it just feels natural to me. I'm more comfortable. And the last step is kind of what to expect. So even TV right now, a lot of them, they'll do it over Zoom, especially with COVID and things like that. So what do you expect from that first interview? So first off, I always say get on there, make sure all your equipment's set up about 5 minutes early. And usually what will happen is your publicist or you have preset some questions, and they're not going to usually come at you at like question 1, 2, and 3 unless it's a poor quality interview. They're going to be more conversational, but what I say is they're talking points. So be prepared to talk on those specific topics and have a good conversation and go in depth and really try to be energetic and excited for what you're talking about. I think that your energy is going to show through, and if you're flat, the interview is going to read as flat. So pick out things that are really important. But at the same time, I personally don't like scripting my conversations because then it'll come out very robotic. Even this video, there's no script to it except I had 3 things that I wanted to hit. Anything past that, I think, makes it really hard to execute at a high level. My last big tip for you is practice with no one there. Practice just recording yourself and watch yourself several times, especially the first couple interviews, presentations I did. I recorded myself. I did the whole thing. I did them about 15 times before I was comfortable and I liked the way that I sounded on camera. This is a really, really important trick. You can do it just with your iPhone and literally just record yourself or watch yourself in a mirror. I've seen plenty of people practice in different ways for presentations, but speaking is a skill. I think that one of my biggest fears starting off was actually public speaking and getting in front of cameras and presenting. And now I do that as part of my day-to-day business because I actually love it. So I built that skill up to a level that I feel is professional. And so that's something that you guys can do too. All right, guys. So in summary, make sure that you have professional equipment so that you look good. Spend $100, $200, get it done right. And then practice, and try not to over script it. Just be comfortable, but be comfortable with the fact that you're just going to talk on camera and give your points of view. All right, guys, until next time, Otter out.